It was great. Got new staff in, got to meet all the players. We got to play together. It was great.
Steph said at Media Day, Steve was just talking now about kind of changing the offense somewhat. It seems a little in some ways tailored towards you and maybe some of your strengths. I mean, do you feel that maybe the offense might be shifting a little bit and maybe into ways that can help you?
And I actually shifted in the ways where it could help us succeed. Involving me, of course, just running more. The main focus was just Steve was talking how we all got to be in shape because we're going to be playing faster, and that's my type of game, and just can't wait.
Threes are emphasis too. He said he wants to be a high-volume three-point shooting team, even without Klay. I mean, how much do you feel like you can up to kind of your three-pointers?
I mean, all the time I've been working on my threes. Against defense, without defense, catch and shoot. Just trying to get my catch and shoot percentage way higher because that's going to help everybody. It's going to open up the floor even more. So I've just been working on that, and that's my main focus.
Dikembe Mutombo passed away yesterday. He's from your same country. Just talk about how you felt about him and how he kind of inspired you.
I mean, it was a sad news. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Every kid coming from Congo looked up to Mutombo. Even my dad, I think he played against him when he was younger, and I still looked up to him. So it was just a big influence just coming out of Africa, especially Congo.
Did you know him? Ever talked to him?
Yeah, I knew him. We spoke a lot. Great guy, of course. It was just sad hearing that news.
Hey, Jonathan, it's Kerr from the Warriors. How was day one of training?
It was great. We're working on a lot of things, a lot of new things, a lot of terminology on defense, on offense. That's going to be good for us this year.
I love it. All right.
Just your thoughts on what do you feel about the team that you guys have, and what are the expectations for you this year?
We have a great team. A lot of things don't look good on paper, but on the floor, of course, we look great. And I know we could go as far as we want because we have a great team and we believe in it. And my expectation, I'm just looking to have fun this year. Just go out there, play my game, helping us win as much as I can. That's what I'm looking forward to.
How does it feel to be in Hawaii for training camp?
It felt great. Especially just bringing all of us, our families out here, playing basketball again. It felt great.
Is it pretty special for this team knowing that Hawaii doesn't have an NBA team and that you guys are really the only chance this year for the islands to see you guys play?
I mean, obviously that's a good thing, and it was a good idea from the NBA. And obviously, I would love for more things to happen, more teams to come out here and see what it's about, and having the fan watching NBA basketball. So it's great to think of things like this.
So you've been to a lot of cities. What do you think of Hawaii?
This is actually my second time, of course, as an adult. It's great. The water, the view, waking up and seeing the view every day it's amazing.
And to be able to give back to the community, I know you guys are doing some kid camps this week. Just talk about not only just being here to practice and play a game, but to also give back to the local youth here.
Man, it means a lot. Just doing things like that, it's about everybody. It's not just about us playing basketball. You got to involve everyone, involve the town, the kids. It's good for them to see players like Steph, Draymond, people that they always dream to see. Obviously, it's great to just go out there and have a camp, and it's good.
Steve, between folding in some of the new guys, implementing some new offense, no Klay, a lot of competition for starting spots, do you feel like this training camp is a bit busier, more challenging than in years past?
It's definitely more challenging because we got new guys, and everyone, of course, want to start. Everyone want to prove it, and it's great. It's actually great just going at each other every day, and that's just gonna give us that mentality of coming out there and just playing hard. So it's just great to just thinking about that and just going with it.
GP mentioned you might be a good candidate for the dunk contest in Chase Center for this All-Star weekend. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I haven't thought about it. It's a thing that every on my team had been telling me about. I just never really considered. So I'm just gonna think about it.
Steve's talking a lot about like combinations matter, the front court. I mean, like small forward, power forward, all that. How do you kind of view the combinations that you fit into, and particularly small? Are you a small forward? Question.
Me, obviously, like I said, I've been on this team for 3 years. There is never a position I haven't played on this team. So that really is my biggest concern. At the end of the day, I know I'm a small forward, and I could do it. I could play at the highest level. But just going forward, it's all about what the team wants you to do for them to win, to help the team win. So it don't matter, small forward, whatever position it is, I'm just going to get better at it and just go out there and produce.
How do you view kind of the versatility of this front court with Trace is kind of on the rise, obviously Draymond's back, Kyle Anderson's kind of a versatile player. Like, what do you think about this front court?
Oh, like I said early, it's a great team. We had new pieces that's going to help us win, obviously with the pieces that was here before. And I'm just excited, I've seen all of them. I've seen all of them play. Trace, we know what Draymond could do. We've seen a little bit of what Trace could do. And just adding new pieces, I feel like we're in a good position.
Talk about your time in the G League Ignite and how that prepared you for the NBA.
Ignite was great. I always wanted to be a professional, and just me choosing that path. I feel like we had pretty much everyone that played in the NBA before or been around the NBA, and just learning from those vets, Jay Jack, Mary Johnson. It was amazing. It was amazing. Kind of helped me throughout my process of going to the NBA.
Being that you've been in the NBA for such a long time, and what does it mean to be a Golden State Warrior?
It means a lot. It's a blessing. It's a dream come true, but it means a lot.
Do you miss Klay at all? Just his personality of having him around?
I miss having Klay around. I miss having Klay around. He's a dope person to be around.
How was yoga this morning?
It was great. Sunny outside, good little ocean view. It was great.
Everybody else practiced.
And how did everyone look? Any surprises for you?
No surprises. Typical first day of camp where you're doing a lot of instruction, running a few new drills. So you got to take your time to, get through everything. Fundamentally, you want to make sure, guys are understanding what we're trying to accomplish, all that. So, these training camp practices they're long and they're difficult, but the guys did a good job.
This is the Warriors' first time back to Hawaii since 2007. What does it mean to you to be a part of the Warriors to come back and give the actual sports change to the NBA?
Yeah, we're thrilled to be here in Hawaii. Obviously a great place to visit regardless, but to come here, have training camp here, our players are enjoying themselves, they brought family members, and then to get to play Saturday in front of the local fans, we're really excited for that.
Steph kind of made it a point at media day to be like, we need to be open to playing differently this year. I know that you talked about still wanting to keep an identity, but how much different do you want to do?
Well, I think when I talk about playing differently, I really am talking about being more structured and making sure we're not playing as much out of random stuff, which we've done for years, but I think with a lot of younger guys, it makes a lot of sense to be more structured, to give guys better clarity on what their roles are on each play from each possession. So, and each position, I should say, too. But what it means is we got to work through a lot of stuff. We'll have more calls. Hopefully we can get to the point where we can play instinctively so that we're not giving up what's always made us good, which is the movement and the flow. So trying to piece that and tie it together is going to involve a lot more work early on, but I think it'll pay dividends.
How much have you leaned on Kerr?
Yeah, so he's been a coach who has relied on movement and flow. He taught his teams in Portland to play with a lot of rhythm, but with a little more structure. So it's one of the reasons I brought him here. We believe in the same kind of basketball with the movement and the ball changing sides. But he's been around this league a long time. He's got great ideas. He's a great teammate. So I'm thrilled that Terry's here, and he'll really help in that regard.
It's been a long roster this year, and what do you want to see in Hawaii as the team is progressing?
Well, we need 4 really good days of practice, and a lot of the stuff that I was just mentioning are offensive calls, our terminology, our structure. I want to get that in place so that we can build on it here the next few weeks, as we start the regular season. So that's the idea is to build the foundation here and then grow it from there.
What's important as kind of a starting shooting guard spot next to Steph? Like, what is needed in that spot?
Well, I mean, ideally you want a two-way player. You want a guy who can make shots and make plays at one end and defend his position at the other. I mean, we're all looking for two-way players, but to be a two-way team is our goal. We want to get back to where we were a couple of years ago at 22. We won't get back to the level we were from 15 to 19. That was an all-time team. But in 22, we were the second-ranked defense in the league. And we were good enough offensively. We weren't highly ranked. I think we were middle of the pack. But to really be competitive in this league, you have to have a hell of a defense. And that's what we're most interested in, is putting the best defense on the floor that we can. And if you've got guys who can defend and make shots, then that's the bonus.
Any combinations catch your eye today?
Nope, just day one. And we had 20 guys out there, and we kind of just put them out there by position. There was no first team, second team. It was, 4 different groups just trying to, get their feet underneath them.
Coming off the Olympics, how are you and Steph energy-wise versus a month or two ago?
I'm so energized for this season. I'm so excited. The benefit of the Olympics versus the World Cup. Last year the World Cup ended September 12th. We had like 2 weeks, and then we started camp. It was tough, and this has been dramatically different. It's been 5-6 weeks since the Olympics ended. I've had plenty of time to rest and recharge, and I know Steph feels the same way. I talked to him about it today. So we're feeling great, and we're really excited about what's ahead.
Is Hawaii a nice change of scenery as far as the training camp goes, especially after, like you said, the summer that you had?
Really nice change of pace. I think we've had camp in the Bay pretty much every year since I've been here. We've taken a couple of trips, one to China, one to Japan. So we still started in the Bay with training camp. So I'm liking this. It's a change of pace. I think it's good for our veteran players, and obviously a beautiful place to visit.
Dikembe's talking about taking 8 to 10 threes per game. Is that too ambitious, or is that actually what?
I like the mentality. Whether it turns into 8 or 10, who knows? But I want Wiggs shooting, 6-7 threes a game. I want Brandon. I want Moses. I want DeAnthony. I want to be a high-volume three-point shooting team. I think that's important for us. And the big shift is Klay's not here, right? So we were 4th in the league in three-point attempts last year, but Klay probably shot 8 or 10 of them himself every game. So we're going to have to fill that void, and that's going to come from multiple people.
The NBA lost a legend yesterday in Dikembe Mutombo. Just talk about what he meant to the league on the court and also off the court, humanitarian wise.
Yeah, it's such a sad day for everybody. Obviously, in particular, his family. So everybody with the Warriors has been thinking of the Mutombo family. You know, I've got great memories, really from just 2 summers ago. Dikembe and I were in Cairo together at Basketball Without Borders, and we had a great time reminiscing about, you know, the old days, playing against each other. And he's been such an amazing ambassador for the league, and in particular for Africa and NBA Africa. And I had known he was sick, you know, for the last year or so, and so sad to hear the news yesterday.
Is there a certain amount of guys in competition for that starting 2-guard spot? I mean, is it Melton, Podziemski?
Honestly, I think there's competition across the board, because it's not as simple as who's the 2. It's got to be who's the 5, who's the 4. We know Steph's the 1. You know, what's the combination? You know, last year we spent a lot of the year unable to play certain combinations and searching for combinations that fit. And so the starting lineup is going to have to be dependent not only on the first 5 fitting, but the second 5 fitting as well. So I think we've got a lot of work to do to figure out lineups. And all the guys can do is just compete, play their ass off, and good things will happen for them if they do that. But it's up to us as coaches to figure out the puzzle.
Are you cognizant of the battles between different players with different positions, and that basically you could make the case you have more starters than starting spots? So you may have 8 guys that think, hey, I'm going to get one of those 5, and then they don't.
Yeah, but that's a good thing. I like that. You know, I like competition. I mean, it brings the best out of everybody. And yes, it's easier when you know you're starting 5 and you know your first 4 guys off the bench. Way easier as a coach when you have that, but we don't have that. So let's turn that into a positive, turn it into competition, and you know, find combos that work, and figure this out together. And you know, let's be a competitive, feisty team. Let's establish that identity through that competition. I like that.
Do you see this more as that through like a positive lens? Because I remember last season you would talk a lot about how you didn't feel that you had a solid group that you could count on night in and night out. Is this similar but kind of the other side of that coin, or is it also in that same headspace?
I mean, it's different just from the standpoint that we've changed our personnel significantly, losing Klay and Chris, and then adding, you know, Buddy, DeAnthony, Kyle, young guys on the rise. It feels a lot different. This feels like a new beginning for us in a lot of ways, whereas last year felt like an extension of what we already were. And that's part of that is the void that Klay leaves. You know, he's been part of the foundation, part of our heart and soul for 12 years. So him leaving it's a pretty dramatic change, and so we have to turn that into, you know, a positive in terms of there's a space, there's a void that he has left on and off the floor, and it gives us a chance to reinvent ourselves a little bit. We're going to miss him. Can't wait to see him when he comes back with Dallas. But we have to move on. He's got to move on, and that means we got to figure out what our identity is as a team.
How's Moody ever? And also, like, you know, I mean, this is year 4. I feel like we've had this conversation at times. Like, you know, he's always seemed like he may get buried in the rotation. Right. So where do you kind of view him entering year 4?
Moses came back in great shape. You know, he wasn't around the facility a ton this year. He spent some time in LA, but he's worked really hard. And the last week or 2, most of the guys have been back playing pickup. Moses has looked great. Catch and shoot, you know, the thing we've really harped on with him over the last year, especially, is if you're open, let it rip. You know, and he looks much more confident in that regard. When he's open, he's letting it fly, and that improves the rhythm of a possession rather than catch and hold or you know, catch and dribble. So Moses looks really good. He's came into camp in great shape, had a really good day today, and I'm excited for him.
Honest from the perimeter. How much does that change, you know, where he might fit in lineups and how you might use him?
Honestly, not that much for me because I know who Kyle is. He's, I think, he's an incredible option if Draymond is out to do the things Draymond does. Play him as a point forward, so good defensively, guards multiple positions, incredibly smart. And then it's also really intriguing to think about the two of them together. We've always loved big guys who can pass. And so if Kyle makes a three, that's just a bonus. He doesn't have to make a three, though, to make a big impact for us.
Does that include playing center?
Yeah. Small ball center for sure. And like I said, maybe with Draymond. Draymond's probably not going to play 82 games. So, I feel really well equipped to handle an absence from Draymond. With Kyle here, because he plays a similar style. I mean, different, but very cerebral, and the passing, the playmaking, we need that.
Being here in Hawaii for the training camps.
Very easy to get loose. It's a beautiful venue, vibe. Obviously, we're here to work, prepare for the season, take advantage of these 4 or 5 days we have here, including the game. Very motivated to, and excited to get back to work. So it's a beautiful view to wake up to, and then when we're in the gym, we can get to work.
Is it a nice change of pace from being in the Bay for training camps and obviously the summer that you had being away in Paris? It's kind of a change of scenery for you?
I was honestly sick of traveling from the summer, but this is not a bad vibe for sure. We haven't done this before in the 16 years I've been here. I know they used to do it before I got drafted. I think they played the Lakers a couple years. So, yeah, it is nice just to get away from our facility for a week to start, especially with a lot of new people. So we're going to, and their families too, which is cool.
What do you take away from the first practice?
Just good energy. There's not much you can really take away per se. It's just a matter of trying to learn as much with the few installs that we put on defense and offense. Guys compete. You got to get your chemistry with talking. That's a big vibe for us, especially the young guys coming in to find their voice. Us vets being able to set the tone. So I think we checked that box, but we got marginally better just by trying to focus on the things we were learning on both ends, and we'll build off of that.
You've had almost the perfect backcourt partner starting next to you for a decade. Obviously, he's gone now. One of the stories of this campus who's going to emerge as the starting two. What do you like? What's ideal for you as a starting backcourt mate next to you?
It's a great question.
Yeah.
That was nice. I like how you put that. That was good. I think we have options, obviously. We have a defensive-minded guy like Melton. You got a guy that's kind of a connector, can put the ball on the floor, create with BP. Obviously, me and BP started a couple times last year. You got Buddy who can shoot, space the floor, veteran who knows how to play. You got a lot of options. I don't know. And then how with the backcourt in combination with our front court with size and versatility, there's a lot of things that we got to figure out this camp. To summarize it, I like where we're at with our options though, because I know with this roster we're going to have a lot of different takes on it as we go through the season, and I'm confident that we can adjust depending on who gets that role.
You've been in the league for such a illustrious year. Just what continues to keep you motivated? What continues to keep you going, despite all the success that you've had?
Well, the success comes from just staying hungry, just and enjoying basketball. Like, I love the place. It's my happy place. Besides being at home with my family, this is where I find the most joy. So there's an appreciation knowing that the game will end at some point, hopefully not too soon, but I get motivated by just trying to get the most out of it I can. I love the work, I love the camaraderie, I love the competition. The business of the game is heavy as you get deeper into your career with the expectations, but when you get into a season, this is the fun part, so I enjoy it.
What makes Melton such a good defender?
Mindset. I think he built his identity around it. He has the skill set, obviously, wingspan and, foot speed, IQ. But there's a lot of guys that just, hang their hat on being a defensive-minded guy and knowing that that's how they can help a team win. And I know he works on it mentally and physically to be able to do it. I know he just wants to be healthy and showcase who exactly he can be on that end of the floor.
How special is it to know that Hawaii doesn't have an NBA team and you guys will probably be the only chance here on the islands that they get to see an NBA game?
I think it's cool. Not just the NBA has done a great job of taking teams all over the world. Denver and somebody else, Minnesota maybe, I think are in Abu Dhabi. You've had games in China, you've had games in Europe, you've had games in Mexico, here in the States, or here in Hawaii. So it's great to open up our fan base. The team, like you said, the community that doesn't get the chance to see 41 games a year. So hopefully there'll be great energy in that building.
How do you feel your leadership has evolved throughout the years with just not only just keeping yourself at a high pace, but also mentoring the other guys as well?
Just giving them what I know, being an open resource. Again, setting the tone in practices and film sessions and games to try to raise the level of competition. And again, I play with joy, I smile, I have fun, try to create an environment where people feel welcome. And I think that goes a long way.
James's talking about taking like 8 to 10 threes per game, and handling the ball more. How ready do you think he is for, I guess those opportunities that are vacant right now?
Yeah, I think obviously with Klay gone, he took a game. I think the math, you want to be able to fill that at an efficient clip. It is, again, a mindset thing to come in that's, looking for those type of shots, being confident, the ball swings at you, and you're open, the game says shoot, you shoot. We live with the results, you put the work in. Try not to overcomplicate possessions. The first good look you get, you should take, and for him being in that position, whether he's creating off the dribble or the game is creating it for him, knock it down. It's what you're here to do.
How do you view your Olympic experience in retrospect? A couple months now removed, and you mentioned being a little travel weary, but just curious, how do you feel coming into camp?
All the things I did this summer, I am rested and rejuvenated. The Olympic experience was great. I'm glad I did it. I built such a great bond with those 11 other guys, the coaching staff that I got to play with and be with for 6 weeks. Thankfully, we got it done. It was a storybook ending for sure, something I'll remember forever. And I think it's just good momentum to build off of, personally, to, again, get the most out of this game that I can, coming into my 16th year. Easy to find motivation through that. And I even brought my medal with me, so I keep it on me.
You're coming into your 16th year. I know that the three-point line has been a good key to your success as far as also your mid-range game. The NBA is obviously faster pace offense and whatnot. Just what do you feel you just have to either adjust, or just how do you want to innovate just this season?
Just do what I do well, even better, even more efficiently. It does get harder as you get older. 82 games is a lot, and what goes into it, you got a lot of miles on you, but that is you have to meet that threshold that I have for myself, the expectations I have for myself. So it doesn't mean a certain stat line, it just means the level of efficiency and a high level of impact that dictates or impacts winning. And I don't need to do anything special, just understand what this team needs me to do to help us win. And that's not just putting the ball in the basket, that's everything else, and the intangibles of just being a leader, being aware of what's going on.
Steve talked about.
Terry goes to coaching staff and the offense?
That'll evolve as we go through camp. I know the coaches have been grinding in the room, coach's room, talking about adjustments we can make and different sets you can put in and all that. He hasn't talked much in practice just because we just got here and just got into it, but I think you trust his experience, you trust, his kind of viewpoint in the game, and when he talks, you listen. So as we get deeper into camp, as we get closer to opening night, I'm sure I'll have more, to attribute to him because we need it.
One of the adjustments that Steve talked about was implementing more sets within the offense instead of maybe the organized chaos that you guys have played with for so long. You kind of been a big spearheader in that. How much of an adjustment do you imagine it would be for yourself to kind of play through more like concrete sets?
I think we obviously, I've said it plenty of times, we need to evolve with how we're featuring the talent that we have on this team. This is the roster we have, and I think we have enough of just putting guys in the right places to be successful and leveraging, what's worked within our system over the years. So there's a fine balance there. I trust, myself to whatever the play call is, whatever position we put certain guys in and feature them, that I'll still get looks, I'll still be able to get to your pet actions and stuff like that, because it has proven, successful, but it's not the only thing you can do. So I don't know what it's going to look like come game 1, come game 10, whatever, but just, again, giving yourself to the team. It starts with me, all of Draymond, all the way down, because you can't do the same thing and expect, like I said it last year, expect a different result. So we got to be open to changes.
You mentioned 2 more questions. Go ahead. You mentioned again your 16th year in the NBA. I know it probably seems like it was just yesterday when you got into the league, but just what it feels for you to continue to be in Golden State and continue to play.
I'm blessed, man. I've had a great experience and journey being here for these many years, seeing all the different iterations of this team, 4 different coaches, championships and all the other things that happen in between. Like I said, I feel like we have a lot more left in the tank, myself included, to go try to win at the highest level. I'm up for the challenge, and to be able to do it for one franchise means the world. So I'm hoping that I can accomplish that as we go, down the stretch of my career.
What's the most interesting fact you've learned about one of your new teammates? Anything catch you off guard?
Nothing caught me off guard. I went to a Mets game this summer, and Kyle Anderson was sitting right behind the third base dugout. I didn't know he was a huge Mets fan. He goes to a bunch of games in the off season. They put me on the Jumbotron, and then he texted me like, "Yo, I didn't know you was here watching my team." So yeah, you get to know guys' backgrounds a little bit. That was a fun way to figure it out. He was at the game, and he called me up.